Oh, what's going on, everybody? I'm going to start bringing everybody into the stream here real quick so you all can see what we got working with tonight. So, welcome everybody to tonight's barrel selection. We are going to be selecting a barrel from Frey Ranch Distilling out of Nevada. Ryan and myself here tonight, as usual, to give you the rundown of everything we've got going on. So, super excited to be able to do this. And we're also joined by the distillers, co-founders, lead janitors, garden hose reelers, you name it. Colby and Ashley from Frey Ranch as well. So,
don't forget
Colby and Ashley, welcome to the show.
Hey guys. Thanks for having us.
For sure. I mean, this is something I know that Ryan and I were pretty excited about. I think this love affair with your brand started was about last year, Ryan. It had to have been almost a year ago now.
Yeah, I think gosh, I'm drawing a blank. Pat Heiss from Wilderness Trail tuned us into you guys, and then you all were grateful enough to send us a bottle, and then we tried it, and we did a whiskey quickie on it. And immediately when I tasted it, I said, I got to have this. And I tried to finagle. I think we tried to finagle some barrels for our Pursuit series, but understand you are a small operation. So super grateful to get this opportunity because I was blown away by your product. And yeah, super excited. So thanks for letting us do this with you guys.
Yeah, I think one of the things that for sure, and I know we probably say it all the time. You know, Ryan and I, we get a lot of stuff sent to us, and which is great. We get an opportunity to try a lot of stuff, and you could imagine some of the times, you know, the things that we see or the things that we probably said were like, oh, great, a 4-year bourbon out of Nevada. I wonder what this is going to taste like.
Here we go.
So
put this in the clunker pile, but no way. It blew us away.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm glad we passed the test, right?
Yeah.
No, and I think this is, you know, and hats off to you and your team. You guys are doing a fantastic job. We'll talk more about, of course, the distillery, the packaging, and everything that goes into it, because I've got a few bottles behind me I think we'll get a closer look at in a while to get folks really excited to have this this new 10-pound glass bottle to be able to take home with them here in a few months. But before we do that, I want to introduce everybody that's going to be on our barrel selection team down here as well. And I'm just going to go with right underneath me. So Matt, just go ahead and unmute yourself. Tell us, you know, where you are and kind of, let's do something different. Let's say your occupation. Do something different.
Cool. Yeah, I'm Matt. Thrilled to be here. I'm typically in Cleveland in South Carolina this week. Happy to participate on the virtual tasting here. I am a director of a development team at a software company.
Nice. What do you do? I was going to say, what language?
It varies. We've acquired so much. So we started out like C++, C#, like .NET, and have since like acquired some Java and everything in between. So really the whole gamut there.
A mix of everything then.
Yeah, none of us understand that.
I know what's going on. Don't you put that on me. Appreciate it. I
saw you the IT check early on, so yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Jacob, you're up next.
Yeah, I'm Jake. I live down south of San Francisco, and I work out here as a critical care physician.
Nice. Cool. Really cool. All right, Robert.
Robert, I am in Phoenix, Arizona, and I work in insurance sales.
Very nice.
Phoenix, it's got to be unbearably hot this time of year for you then.
Yeah, it's freaking fantastic, man.
Because nobody goes outside.
Yeah, we do because we have a pool, and I got 3 little kids, and they won't shut up about it, so we're outside all the time.
I would imagine
kids love
where you live. I mean, I think Phoenix and a lot of those places, like if you don't own a pool. And I think in Dallas too, I think like everybody has to own a pool or you just never go outside.
Or if you know somebody's got a pool, you commandeer it when you can.
It's kind of like what we do with boats around here. We're like, you got a boat? Hey, what are you doing this weekend?
Yeah.
And a man with the best internet connection tonight, Anderson, welcome back for another barrel selection, buddy.
Thank you. Glad to be here. So I'm Anderson Todd, currently in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I am a IT strategist helping enterprises deliver software faster.
See,
nice.
Ryan's the only person here that works with his hands.
I know. Me, Colby, and Ashley, we're farmers. I'm an urban farmer, but we get our hands dirty.
Well, awesome. So I'm sure before we start talking about, of course, the distiller and everything, I want to make sure everybody here, you've got all your samples. I've got 5 glasses set out in front of me. You all kind of know the drill. I know Anderson's been on a pick with us before. Jacob, you have as well, haven't you? If I'm not mistaken.
I have not.
Okay. Well, my memory's kind of slipping me. So anybody's first time. All right.
Nice.
So there we go. Robert, we're going to take you on your other maiden voyage tonight here. We're going to kind of get you all lined up here. And it looks like yes, it is. It is.
It's like being baptized.
I got the match sheet and everything. I watched your other pick from June, so I'm a little refreshed.
All right. You get the idea. You know what's going on here. So I've got all the barrels lined up in sequential order, 515 through 580. I'm going to pour probably about maybe a half of this into a Glen. Just make sure you save some, because odds are we are going to have to narrow this down and figure out which one we're going to go with. So use your samples wisely.
That's right.
But we'll go ahead and kind of get started. So again, I'm just kind of pouring about this much in there. And we say that there's no right way to do it, no wrong way to do it, but this is the way that we do it, is go through, nose them all first, kind of write down your notes, and then you can go in with a taste. That's just typically how we do it. Colby and Ashley, how do you all do it? You must do these things all the time.
Yeah, pretty similar. We've actually tasted through every single barrel that we do in our single barrel, or actually every single barrel we taste through, regardless of whether it's going into our straight bourbon, our rye, or our single barrel program.
And what we do is we taste every single barrel. We've tasted probably over 1,000 barrels now. And I think we have 9,000 something in inventory right now. But we taste everyone. And if it shows extreme characteristics, like if it shows really a lot of, herbal or floral or fruity, or if it's very oaky, if it's spicy, if it shows like kind of extreme characteristics, we kick it out for our barrel program. And so that's why we gave you 5 choices here, and they're all fairly different. You'll see. So we're
all really good.
You all even go to the extra effort of writing down some tasting notes to help influence our decision here too on these.
I know. I tried.
Well, you don't have to share them. That's just what we got the first time around. But lots of times we'll go through them again, and we are constantly picking out different tasting notes.
Yep.
No, I'm just messing. I'm just trying to bust your chops there a little bit. No, for anybody like what Ryan said, I'm trying not to look at them, and then we'll look at them a little bit later. But hey, if you've already read the label, I can't really stop you, except try to erase your memory. Get like a little Men in Black thing. Just
so what's your all's ideal profile for Frey Ranch? You say you have these are outliers that you're kind of putting towards single barrels. What are you looking for your your flagship product?
So our flagship is 4 grain. These are all 4 grain also. And so it's 4 grain, and we really want, like, our whole goal is to showcase the grains in all the whiskeys. And so like our ultimate flavor profile or what we want the whiskey to end up being is a little bit spicy from the rye, but the wheat gives it this like creamy mouth feel. And so it's got a little bit of the spiciness, the sweetness from the corn, the creamy mouthfeel from the wheat.
Yeah,
and just a good finish.
Our flagship bourbon has amazing butterscotch maple syrup on the nose. And as Colby mentioned, as you go through, you actually can taste through all the grains. And that's kind of the flavor profile. So when we get one that's like a fruit bomb, we kick it out. I love them. Some of my favorite barrels are those fruit bombs. But
Yeah, I definitely noticed just on the first couple, getting a lot of like brown sugar undertones and some creaminess on there. But there is some nice spice too, like kind of piney, citrusy notes too. I guess probably from the rye and whatnot. So very good.
So I guess give us a little bit of history, because you've got a 4-year bourbon. You go to the website and it says you're a 156-year-old ranch or something like that. So give us some of the history, because you all don't look like you're 156 years old.
Yeah, we age well. We're so my family's been farming here in northern Nevada since 1854. Keep in mind, Nevada didn't become a state until 1864. So we've been continually farming in this area since 10 years before it was even considered a state. And the importance of that is the knowledge on how to grow crops has been passed on from generation to generation. So we know our soil, we know our climate, we know our irrigation techniques, all of that, those kind of things that are really important in the growing it side my family's been able to pass on to me. And so, we know how to grow grain, and we grow it specifically for whiskey. And so it's really important. We're not just buying it on the open market, in a way that encourages, like a farmer might be encouraging quantity, not quality, but we grow it in a way that encourages quality, and we sacrifice quantity all the time on the farm here. And we know how to grow grains because of that 165 plus years of growing knowledge. And then also we're in this area. We're in Fallon, Nevada. It's called the Oasis of Nevada. We have an abundance of water. We're in the driest state in the nation, and we get all of our water from the Sierra Mountains, from both sides of Lake Tahoe, through the Truckee and the Carson rivers. And it's all flood irrigated, and it comes through a series of canals all the way to the farm here. So we kind of have this little ideal spot because it's the perfect conditions. Today it was 105 degrees outside. So it's got that expansion in the barrel warehouses. We got those hot summers. And it gets down to 0 degrees during the winter. So we get those really cold winters for that contraction in the barrels for the aging. So we feel like we have an ideal aging conditions here. We have the ideal growing conditions, and that's, what we do. We feel like with better inputs, you end up with better outputs. And so by growing our own grains in a way that encourages quality, you get better outputs in the end.
Yeah, and we set out when we started way before we started our distillery, we wanted to have 100% of the grains be showcased in our whiskey. So that was our goal. And we wanted to highlight all 4 of the grains, which is why we choose the 4-grain bourbon. And we even malt our own barley. You can touch on that maybe.
Yeah, we malt our own barley right here on site, which is a minor ingredient in our bourbon, but it's a really important ingredient. Mm-hmm. So. But we wanted to have total control, and we wanted to use all of our own grains. So we have to malt our own barley, even though we could probably buy malted barley cheaper than we could even make it ourselves for. But that's not who we are or what we want to do.
You take it the hard way.
Yeah.
I'm always jealous of people who have like arid conditions and access to water, because you can control growing. You can grow whatever you want. You can control it. Whereas here we have so much damn humidity. It like throws off everything. You can't control. There's so many things out of your control in growing crops and whatnot. So I've always been envious of.
Well,
go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, that's what's kind of neat about whiskey is I really think that the whiskey and bourbon and everything was kind of a way for farmers that were in really humid environments like yours. Grain starts to rot if it's got too much moisture in it or too humid. And so whiskey was a way to take their crops and make it less perishable. They couldn't store it in silos for long periods of time, so they'd make it into whiskey. Mm-hmm. But in our area here, we have the ideal growing conditions. We can get it to dry down. There's very low humidity outside, and we don't have mildew. We don't have fungus. We don't have mold problems in the fields or in our silos. So we have these ideal conditions that we can store the grains for long periods of time and grow them in a way that is really high quality.
Yeah, I'm rolling through fungicides right now here with all our rain, heat, humidity. It's and too, your climate's crazy. I was in Tahoe like 3 years ago. Probably my favorite place in the U.S. It's so beautiful, but it's like you said, it's 90, 100 during the day, and then at nights it's like drops to 40, and so it's like extreme variations.
Yeah, and that allows the plants to grow during the hot days and breed during the cool nights. Especially like corn is really important for that. But here, I think it's 105 today, and it's supposed to be in the 60s at night, which that's a pretty decent difference between highs and lows.
Yeah, it's hard to pack for too because you're like
Yeah.
in the
Just
morning.
pack
You're like,
everything.
"All right, I'm gonna
Yeah.
need sweatshirt and
There's-
jeans. Then afternoon, I need tank tops and swimming trunks.
You need a sweatshirt when you go to bed.
Yep, I love it out there. Next time I come out, How far are you from Tahoe?
Oh, it's about an hour and 40-minute drive, so it's not too far. So
Yeah, not too bad.
come out and see us.
Yeah, I would love to. My brother-in-law, they got married in South Tahoe. It's called a Landing. It's like a boutique
Yep.
hotel there where the casino.
I know
Yeah.
exactly where that is.
Yeah, it was
Beautiful.
nice.
That's a neat spot. Yeah.
Yeah, because you got the Tahoe, but then you got the gambling too. If you want to be a degenerate for the night.
That's where we like to hang out. I mean, not at the casino parts of it or whatever, but we like to hang out in South Tahoe there if we go to Tahoe. It's beautiful.
Yeah. All right, I'm talking too much. Sorry.
We've got too much
one are we
information
tasting
about
now?
your background
Are we
about
still
weddings. Yes, so I just got finished tasting my first one of 515. Matt, Jake, Robert, Anderson. I don't know how far you all are along yet.
That one's the highest proof out of all of them. It's 67.43.
Good taste it.
It's up there.
Yeah, I was about to say, let me, I don't know why I chose to do that one first. That was probably a mistake. But for all the people that are out there in live stream world, to let you know what we're messing with here. So this is barrel 515. Let the camera kind of refocus on it for a second, if it will. And there we go. So you can see the proof we got on that monster right there. But 134.86. So I guess the next question is, Colby, I'm assuming you're going in at the max at 125 in these barrels then.
Yeah, so that one isn't, but it's amazing because this last round we had kind of all around the board. I think it's just different places in the barrel warehouse. We get different proofs, they go up and down. But that was the highest one by far. I think the other ones are all 63, 62, 62, and 65.
Yep. They are. Everything else is between 125 and 130, it looks like. So that's still packing some heat.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Either.
I kind of wish, now that I thought about this, we maybe should have gone gradually up in proof, but hey, why mess with a system? Why mess with a system when we have it?
Yeah.
But
it's all downhill from here.
Shem says that Shem needs tasting notes. So hop in and say something for anybody that takes himself off of mute and say what you're thinking of any that you are tasting. So we have something for.
I'm definitely getting graham cracker.
Yeah, I was getting a ton of honey, cinnamon, like honey grams or something on that one. And then there was like a slight like white grape juice note on it that I pulled out of there too. But, definitely more honey graham cereal kind of thing I got going. But I'm surprised how approachable it is at 134. It's not like blowing my socks off.
Yeah.
So I guess
I get
the
like
next
this
question,
red hot thing going on for me. So
for sure. Colby and Ashley, so the reason to start the distillery, is it the same reason why everybody else started distilleries back in the day? Because you just had too much grain and you said, what the hell, let's make some alcohol?
Well, our grain was really sought after around here. So we had no problem selling it or really, but to us, it wasn't very fulfilling just to sell it and not to be able to make something out of it. And so Ash and I kind of were thinking, what's the best way to really like showcase the grains that we're growing? We knew that they're extremely high quality, but we never got to see the final product or experience anything. And we thought, what better way than to make it into whiskey? And so one of our passions were always whiskey, and we loved it. And we thought, man, we could really take two of our passions, which is whiskey and farming, and marry them together.
Mm-hmm.
So how many years ago did the distillery start, and talk about the building process? Because I know it's not something you're just like the next day, like flip of a switch, let's go and build a distillery. I mean, there's a lot of planning involved there.
It was a huge process. And so we actually started legally distilling in 2006. We got a federal experimental license, but there was no state licenses in the state of Nevada until 2013, when we were finally able to get licensed, the laws passed. And so from 2006 to 2013, we experimented with different grain varieties, different irrigation techniques, different fertilizer management, all the things in the field that we could do to kind of change the grains. Then we played around with different mash bills, different yeast varieties. Everything was we kind of figured it out from 2006 to 2013. When we finally got the laws passed, we felt like it was really, or we felt confident in spending a lot of money and building our distillery that we finally ended up building. And so it was kind of a blessing in disguise because from 2006 to 2013, we really honed our production skills and got it all to be able to hit the ground running and not figure it out after we had our big distillery built and everything else. So
we started putting down our first barrels in 2014. So we launched in December of 2019.
Yeah, or the whiskey, we released our first whiskeys, and it was an average of 5 years, actually. So it was 4.7 to 5.3 years old, a big blend. And
we didn't source any whiskey. We didn't do any small barrels from the very beginning. That was something that it was like non-negotiable.
Yeah, we wanted, you only get one chance for a first impression. So we didn't want to do any 2-year-old whiskey or 3-year-old whiskey
or unaged
whiskey or smaller barrels or anything. We wanted to just start off right.
Did y'all have anybody consulting or like guiding you in the process?
Not really. I mean, it's amazing how helpful the whole distilling world is on the production side. I think on the sales side, those guys are the ones that are, sales and marketing. But, the production people are so nice and helpful. And we went to a lot of distilleries and we learned a lot of what to do. And we learned a lot of things that we thought maybe we could tweak this and do it a little bit better. And we really felt like if we had a consultant come in and tell us what to do, that we would have made their whiskey, but not ours. And so we toured a lot of distilleries and we really learned exactly what we wanted. And that's how we figured we actually have a continuous still and a pot still. And we love them both because
why not? Yeah, sure. Let's just do them both.
Yeah. If you're going to, And so when we went to Vendome, it was the first time Vendome Copper and Brass built it. It was the first time they built a continuous still and a pot still that kind of work in unison together. It was really kind of unique because we feel like a continuous still, you get better quantity, but a pot still, you can do better quality. You can take the heads and the tails cuts and really better tailor your product. And so we strip everything in the continuous stills and then redistill everything in the pot stills rather than using it, like a doubler, like you traditionally have on a continuous still. And so, but that's what was really great about 2006 to 2013 is that we figured out what we wanted and that's what we wanted and how to do it. And we got there.
And did you just learn to be a distiller by watching YouTube videos or something? What was your entrance into that world?
That's a good question. So we toured a lot of distilleries a long time ago, but as a farmer, you have to know a little bit about a lot of different stuff. And so we just figured it out. I built my first still and then tweaked it and rebuilt, then built a second still. And by the time we were done, I had built 4 or 5 stills and really figured out like the cooling systems and the reflux chambers and all the different parts of stills to where I knew what I wanted and how I wanted to do it by the time we went to Vendome and had them build our big still. And so I think being a farmer too, growing up, my dad and I, we fixed up old tractors from scratch. I mean, some of them literally came in boxes that we hauled home. We built wagons. We did all this fun stuff. We built a cannon and all kinds of antique cars and tractors and stuff. And it just gave me the confidence to build stuff and figure it out.
That's what farmers
I'm going to come back and touch on that cannon thing here in a little bit.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to put it to the guys here on the tasting panel here. How far are you? Get some tasting notes out here. You're being kind of quiet.
I can give some, but I can let other people give some too.
Yeah, let's let these guys chime in.
Yeah.
Anderson, I know you're not shy.
Yeah, I'm on number 2. And I'm getting like almost like a Ethiopian coffee bean because it has just layers and layers and layers of complexity, almost like some dark fruit notes in there as well. I really like the way this one drinks versus the first one that I had. So I'm already mentally kind of orienting around which one would I prefer. So I think I
So
know where
is
I
number
am
2
from first to end.
522?
Yeah, 522.
correct.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I got like
yeah,
a root beer sassafras kind of note on it.
Oh,
There we go.
It's a good one.
the
I like
nose is really sweet.
Yeah.
It's the nose compared to the first one is really nice.
and a much more creamier mouthfeel compared to the first one.
Yeah.
When I go back to the first one, it's like more tobacco, earthy, like that forest. Where the second one is just that creme brulee, tiramisu.
Yep. That's why, like on the first one, I always write notes. And on the first one, I put it was kind of dry and peanut shells, graham cracker, red apple. The second one, I put sweet and coffee, vanilla wafers, candy corn, creme brulee.
And I guess this is going to
And
fold
it's
in the
nice.
next question. How did you all kind of develop your palate and find these tasting notes? I know Ryan and I, we review whiskey every single week, and it feels like we're always trying to stretch and find new words to describe things. Well, we have to do it on the spot because we have to do it in less than 60 seconds, but kind of talk about your journey of like figuring out how to develop your palate and find some of these flavors.
I think the best part about that is practice, right?
Yeah.
So we have over 140 different whiskeys of, other people's whiskeys that we get to try all the time, which is super fun for us to try and talk about. And
Oh yeah, just constantly pulling barrel samples. I mean, daily. And a lot of people ask us, how did you wait 5 years before you released your first bourbon? And I always tell them, well, we got to taste it every day. And we got to see the evolution from, White Dog all the way to fully mature at 5 years. So that really helped me just perfect my palate. And then participating in every single one of our single barrels is something that I love. My favorite thing to do. And
we learn a lot from you
other
guys, and so it's really fun to be able to taste them with you. So every single barrel that we've released, we've tasted with the people that are picking it. So it's really fun for us because it's a big part of who we are. Like Ashley tells everybody in the tasting room, the bottles of whiskey that we sent you never left our possession until we sent them to you. Like
none
from
of the ingredients,
growing the grains, making the whiskey, malting the barley, mashing, fermenting, distilling, aging, bottling, everything's done right here by us.
We got to come up with a new like bottled and bond. This is like bottled and bond to the extreme or something. I don't figure out some way to do a play on that one.
Yeah,
that's great.
Well, I mean, like to be completely honest, one of the guys that works for us, we were talking about bottled and bond, and doesn't everybody do that? No, not everybody does that.
Yeah, it's almost like farm to table in a sense, right?
Right.
Yeah. So we've been using the term, and I'm not sure if it's the best term, but from ground to glass. Some people say grain to glass, but any distillery can buy grain and make it into whiskey and put it in a glass. And we kind of feel like we're from the ground to the glass. That's kind of who we are.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. All right, I want some of these other guys to chime in. Matt, what are you feeling right now? How far have you gone along? You got some front runners yet?
Yeah, I just made it to 4, which is 567. But so far, I'm a really big fan of 524. It was like straight fruit cherry cola. Love the nose right up front too. The 515 was pretty unique. It was hot. Nice hug on it, but a little bit more like nutty and spicy, which is not my typical go-to, but still really tasty and unique.
For sure. I tell you what, let me know when you get to 4, because my tasting notes are way different than this one. But I mean, I almost get like a cigar taste on 4. I
got the same. I got tobacco for sure on 4.
I picked up like the spice on the nose and like the kind of like rye.
Which that oak, I love that oak. Ryan knows that all too well. But I've already gone through and tasted
4,
586 as
5,
well, and
6,
I really
7.
like that one. I really like that. I kind of got like a cherry wood on that one.
4
like
is
a
5,
smoked
6,
cherry
7,
wood.
right?
Correct.
Whoever said cherry cola on 524, like spot on. That's amazing. I like that
Yeah,
one.
I'm getting that too.
Yeah, I mean, you could crush that one at the 125 proof. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if that one, maybe it's just me. Again, we all have different palates, but the 524 I get, or number 3, I get almost like a bitter finish to it, but that's just me. I don't know if maybe it's bitter or dry.
Yeah, I got like a pine, green tea, honey notes on that one. But we're all different. So you said you got cigars on 4, and I got like these are so fun because they got so many flavors going on. That's what I love about them. And like 4, I got like almost like Big Red soda. I just can't get that out of my mind on the 567 every time I keep drinking it.
I'm a fan of Big Red.
It's like cream soda, you know.
Well, now cream soda and Big Red are not the same kind of soda,
Well,
Ryan. You got to choose one.
Big Red's kind of, you got the cream with Big Red.
No. No. You can't tell me cream soda and Big Red are the same thing. I'll fight you on that.
567, I actually remember tasting this one when it was in the barrel, and I got this amazing like citrus finish, and that's why we kicked it out. I specifically remember this one. You guys picking that up?
On which one?
Like maybe a little bit of lemon or orange.
Yeah, definitely
567, number 4.
Oh, sorry, number 4.
Yeah, definitely on the finish, you get a little that orange peel,
Yeah,
lemon peel thing going on. But there's so many flavors going on. It's like I taste one thing and then I taste it again and I taste another thing, and it's I guess that's maybe the 4 grains. They're really fun to taste through.
they are. Yeah,
I think
tried
4
one.
has
I love the way
has
they kind of play off of each other, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 has a really great finish as well.
Yeah, and 4, I still get like I get like a really strong butterscotch on the front palate, and then it moves into like a cream soda, then like Big Red gum, and then some orange peel, lemon peel towards the end.
Big Red gum? Now, Big Red gum is like cinnamon. You're all over the place on this.
I know. Well, but Big Red gum has like some kind of fruit note to it, doesn't it? I don't know. I can't remember. I haven't.
No,
it's been
Big
so long
Red's
since
just
I've
straight
had it.
cinnamon, isn't it?
Is cinnamon
all
a fruit,
cinnamon.
Kenny? I think it is.
Yeah.
All right,
It's just
never mind
sweet.
then. Throw out the Big Red gum. Big Red cola.
I get like a
I'm here
Myers
to-
lemon finish on it, though. To your point, Ryan,
What's that?
I get like a Myers lemon finish on it.
Yeah.
So here's a question for you all. What cooperage and char level are you all using?
Yeah, so we have 2 cooperages. One of them is called Barrel 53. They're out of Missouri, Higbee, Missouri. And the other one is Independent Stave, which is the giant one that most distilleries use. And it's a char 4 on all the staves and a char 3 on the heads. And so we feel like, having 2 different char levels gives it a little bit of complexity and different flavor profiles that each char level offer.
And how much research went into trying to figure out exactly which char level you all wanted to go with?
Quite a bit, because when we were experimenting, we experimented with char 4, char 3, and then all of a sudden, what's that?
this is a lot of work.
Oh man, I know.
Yeah.
So we experimented with both of them, and we blended them together, and it was better blended together than by each one by themselves. And so we kind of said to the cooperage, like, man, we wish you could do 2 different char levels. And they said, well, we could do the heads different than the staves. And we said, hell yeah, let's do that, because we love the way that the flavor profiles that they both offer together.
Yeah, right on. Well, you got to do something different. That's pretty good for sure.
It's amazing what the wood can do to it.
So we're recruiting about a 940 right now. So everyone kind of do like one last sample through, and then choose your top 2, and then we're gonna vote from there to start eliminating some. I know this is insanely tough. I'm gonna have to go back to 1 from all that and figure out, and then we'll choose our top 2 and go from there. And then we're going to do our best to start really squeezing Colby and Ashley here and see if we can get 2 barrels out of them.
We've seen it all. It's amazing. When doing these barrel tastings, it's amazing. We've had people, one of them took 3.5 hours for them to decide. And we've had people try to arm wrestle, Rochambeau. We've had people screaming at each other because they like this one and the other guy like this one. And it's really amazing how it's almost a compliment because nobody just says that's the one always. You know what I mean? It's neat.
Yeah, Kobe, we may or may not have employed some of those same techniques in our barrel picks as well.
Is that why you guys do virtual now? So you guys can't, you can't arm wrestle and
fisticuffs.
No, we can meet somewhere in the middle and take care of things.
Yeah. Anderson could take care of all of us, so I'm glad we're doing it virtually.
I just got to number 586, and wow.
Yeah.
I mean, the bouquet is just wow. It lives up to the tasting notes, Kobe.
Wrote down Cinnabon.
Be careful, that's trademark.
Yeah.
I almost call it like it, not that just from a sense, like it reminds me of a jawbreaker, like where you get like layers and layers and layers of different sugary flavors and like fruity flavors. There's so much like, it's like you get one layer, you bite through, then you get to the next and you're like, oh, there's something else. And then there's, you keep.
Yeah.
Ross wants to know if anybody got Twizzler on anything. I don't think I was trying to pull it out, but
I'm sure you can find it.
I'm sure you can find it. You keep digging in these barrels, you'll find it.
It's here somewhere.
I mean, there's enough complexity in there. It's in there somewhere.
Yeah, I'm pulling all kinds of things. I don't know. I'm like everywhere with these. These are great.
The noses are fantastic as well. By the way, I want everybody to kind of know like how awesome this is that we're able to get a barrel from Colby and Ashley and Frey Ranch. They have got like I said, an incredible product, very limited allocation and release and stuff like that. So, hats off to them, but hats off also to our retail partner, Keg and Bottle, because if it wasn't for Keg and Bottle, this would probably be in jeopardy. So making sure that we help support our retail partner because they do a great job of making sure that we get access to great whiskey such as this. And I honestly can't wait to share this with our community. It's kind of one of those things that right now it's sort of a hidden gem. And once it gets out there, you all are not going to be able to even keep up. So
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
You need to
we didn't
triple whatever you're doing now, triple it.
Right.
Yeah. So this year we're producing quite a bit, but it's not going to be available for 5 or 6 years. But we saved a certain amount of single barrels, thinking like we would have plenty, and I bet you we could have done 5 times more if we had them this year. And so they were super short, but we wanted to make sure you guys were included.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to do a new make run for us, we're happy to do that.
Yeah, we got money. Let's spend it.
Yeah, I'd be happy to buy whatever a run is. What is the typical run for you guys? Not cost wise, but how many barrels?
Barrels per batch or per day?
Batch or per day, whatever.
Yeah. So we're running 1 batch per day, what we call a batch, which is actually 5,000 gallons, and we're ending up with about 11 barrels per day right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
is what we're producing.
2 days.
We'll take 3 days.
Yeah. Well, I thought you wanted the month of July.
Oh yeah, that too.
We'll take the longest month.
A full truckload of barrels.
We'll take a month with 31 days in, so we get the most.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we also need you running 24/7. I forgot about that part too.
Yeah,
you don't need to sleep.
Yeah, sweet. It's funny because
they start at 5 or 4 now.
We've been starting at 5, and usually we're done about 9 o'clock at night. So we're working from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. We tell everybody we wanted a 9 to 5, but we ended up with a 5 to 9 instead. And it's 7 days a week, and it's 363 days a year we run. We take 2 days off.
Thanksgiving, Christmas.
Yep.
Or is it Christmas and New Year's?
Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Thanksgiving, Christmas.
Oh, brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Farm life.
But amazing. Right?
That's great.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah, you can grow all year, so you can't. There's no winter there.
Yeah. Oh no, there's winter here. It gets down to 0 degrees for the coldest part of the winter
Oh, it
here.
does. Okay.
Yeah.
That's true.
And so we're kind of in northern Nevada. So we're about 360 miles away from Las Vegas. And it's kind of ironic. We're actually closer to San Francisco than we are Las Vegas, where we are right here. So we're kind of in northern Nevada near Reno.
I wasn't thinking Tahoe's clearly got skiing. It's known for skiing.
Oh yeah, it's cold there. Yeah. So we definitely have seasons, and that was kind of the idea behind the distillery is we would distill during the winter months and then shut it down, and we all go out and farm
all summer,
during the summer months. And then now the distillery kind of grew enough to where we're distilling in the summer and winter months. But it's great.
It's amazing. In the winter, you go in the barrel warehouse and it's warm. Like it feels really good. In the summer, you go in there and it's just so hot.
Yeah. Oh, it's hot. It's the humidity, because we actually add humidity to our barrel warehouse. You know, humidity is really important in the barrel warehouse, not only just because of the angel share that you would lose, but also at high humidity, you actually lose more alcohol than water, or they're very close. But at low humidity, you lose more water than alcohol. So your proof actually goes up quite a bit and kind of crazy if you don't add humidity. And so, you know, we want to add that humidity so we don't have to add so much to get it down to our standard bourbon's 90 proof. And we'd have to add more water. It'd be less concentrated, more diluted if we let the alcohol kind of get out of control in the barrel.
Yeah. So let's go ahead. Let's start putting it to votes. Colby and Ashley, I'm going to ask you to just refrain from voting unless we need a tiebreaker.
All right.
That's when you might come in here.
Okay.
So, has everybody got their favorite two? Top two.
Tough, but I think, I can narrow it down.
Yeah.
This is the part that I hate. This is the part that I hate because I always fucking lose and I can't stand it. But you know, it's a democracy, so we'll take it. All right. So if everybody's got their top two, I said when I call the number, just raise your hand if it's one of your top two, and we'll kind of tally the votes from there. All right. 515. Got a 0 on that one. Okay. 515 kind of grew on me. I went back for the second time and I was like, I kind of like it, but it still didn't rank my top two. 522.
Ooh.
4. That's unfortunate for me. All right. 524. All right. Got one on Matt there. 567. All right. Me and Anderson, we're looking there. I don't know how you guys not like that one. And then 586 is going to be a resounding yes from everybody. I'm guessing. Okay, yes. I figured as much. That one's going to the ship.
All right. Let me do 3. I'll take 567. I can make that number 3.
567 was great. I thought it was the most unique, but I put that at number 3 on my list.
That was in my top 3 too.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I just like
number 1.
See, Ashley, we should hang out more. We should go on vacation and do this game together, because I mean that was my number 1. I really liked that one. I had 3 check boxes on it, but you know,
I struggled with the nose on it a little bit at first.
But you drink whiskey, you just don't smell it all night, so that's my argument. But I'm not going to sway anymore. So we're down to 522 and 586. Sound all right?
All right, right here. These ones.
So now you all get to play Master Blender with all your remaining samples.
All right.
I don't know if you guys like to, but I like to put like a drop of water in it. I know that's kind of, some people don't like
sacrilegious.
That. It changes it a little bit. Yeah.
Is it okay if we put in Kentucky limestone water?
Oh man, yeah.
Nope,
that's okay. If you don't have any Nevada water, if you don't have any Tahoe water.
Well, I guess I should have got it from the tap, because that's all hetchy from where I live in San Fran.
Yeah.
And before we get too far, I also want to be able to bring this to camera and show everybody this packaging. So what this is going to come in. I'm trying to get a little bit closer and put it on here. But I mean, you all, I don't know who designed this thing, but you're giving Peerless a run for their money in regards of what's going on here. I mean, the base is like 6 inches thick. Your cork topper could be, this is, and it's maybe shows my age and kind of how nerdy I was as a kid, but anybody that played Pogs growing up and you had slammers, but I mean, like even the topper weighs like a solid half pound. So kind of talk about the packaging that went into it and inspiration and all that sort of stuff too.
Sure. No, totally. Thank you for bringing it up because we did spend about a year from initial design and ideas to actually having the bottle and the packaging all together. So the topper, just starting right at the top, it's in the shape of a bolt. I don't know if you guys can kind of see that right there.
Here, I'll bring it up on mine and blow
Yeah.
it up so anybody can see it.
It's in the shape of a bolt, which is just something that you see here on the farm. And a lot of people comment on just how heavy it is. They're not hollow. It's not wood. It's recycled metal. They're they just feel really good in your hand.
I had a bartender tell me that I owed her a tile because she dropped it in the back bar and it broke her tile on the floor. It's so heavy.
Yeah.
You need a big crescent wrench for that bolt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, they're pretty sturdy. Love the way they feel. We use a recycled metal. And same with the medallion on the front. When you work your way down to the label, this yellow color, which our flagship bourbon is actually the inverse of our single barrel. So it's primarily yellow. And we drew the inspiration from that, from the corn. So you could just see how close that coloring is. And we wanted to highlight, the primary ingredient in our bourbon and what we grow here on the farm. The label wraps all the way around. So that represents a belt buckle that was gifted from Colby's dad or Colby's grandfather to his dad to himself. So if you see him out in market, he'll more than likely have it on. I don't have it on today. And then my favorite part and what we worked really hard on with the design agency and our glass company was the hidden message on the bottom. So I don't know, did you notice that? So if you flip it over, it actually has a hidden message that says, be good to the land and the land will be good to you, which is on the rim of the glass. And yeah.
I don't know if you can see it on the camera,
Yeah,
but
it's hard to see. Yeah.
I kind of see.
it's kind of there.
But that's a Frey family motto. And it's something that we really believe in. And we don't take without giving back. And just a saying that we have here on the farm.
I'm really fortunate because my ancestors took really good care of the land and the soil and our climate and our area here. And so they passed the ranch on to me in extremely good condition. And my goal in life is to take really good care of it and pass it on to my kids in as good or better condition. And so that's kind of the foundation of us as farmers and the foundation of our bottle too.
And when we were really brainstorming a bottle, one of the things we kept writing down and going back to over and over, we wanted the bottle to feel good in your hand. So it came out at 1,200 grams empty, and we just love the packaging. So
yeah, it's one of the best packagings I think out there. I love the fonts. I love the farm. I love the top. I mean everything. It's beautiful. It's well done.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just feel really bad for everybody that has to pay extra shipping charges on it,
Right.
Yeah.
An extra for like 4 pounds of it, but it's amazing.
Well, I tell everybody, keep the bottle, use it as your infinity bottle or decanter, do something really cool with it. We make candles here at the ranch. We do these fun grain jars. So this represents our mash bill that we have. So these are all just old bottles that come from our tasting room. I've actually never thrown a bottle away. Just I know what went into it and how much work, and I just can't throw them away. So we're always finding things to do with them.
So I'll throw a curveball question at you here. So anybody that's not in the industry, they probably don't know to get your own custom glass mold. It ain't cheap. I mean, you're spending at minimum 10 grand, somewhere between 10 to 50 grand is usually about what you're getting there. Did you all get it right the first time? Or was there a, oh crap moment, we've got to go and do this again? Because there's a lot of stuff going on here.
We got the bottle was done right the first time, but we actually went to Mexico where they were produced. and saw them coming off the line. And it took some tweaking while they were running them to get them right. But they ran some samples and then we okayed them and then they produced them later. But they got it right the first time on the bottle. But there's a story about the labels, and so we wanted this beautiful yellow color, and we figured out
we all have stories about labels. We all have stories about them because there's nothing that ever goes right the first time.
Yeah, and so our labels, I mean, here's our normal bourbon. And so this color, we figured we held it next to the corn, and we said, our label color needs to be 243C,
like a Pantone.
In the Pantone color world. And so our labels are actually not on a coated or a shiny. It's an uncoated material. So they use 543U, and 543U is orange. And our first labels came and they were just bright orange, and we're like, "What the hell is this?" Like, there's no farm colors that are orange. Like,
we didn't want to be an
oranges in
brand.
there.
Yeah, we're like, we're not an orange brand. We wanted to be yellow because of the corn, and it represents like all of the grains growing. Wheat, rye, and barley are all this beautiful yellow in the field when we harvest them also. And so that's the only really major like, oh crap moment that we had with the whole bottling process.
I mean, going down to the glass manufacturer in Mexico City and watching the glass come off the line was like truly amazing. It was like to see the architect or the technical drawings and the mock-ups to actually seeing the glass was really, really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a little bit, I think anybody that knows, if you buy your own Volvo or as a BMW or something like that, you can fly over to Germany and you can watch it being made and yours come off the line and stuff like that. But yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't pick, Kenny. I can't pick between these two. I'm sorry.
I can, so it makes it easier.
Okay, fair enough.
I've had my favorite for a while on this one, but I'm not going to let that influence anything. This is a funny one. Would you say the 4-grain is better than Colonel Taylor 4-grain?
Ooh.
I will go hard on a limb and say absolutely. I have had the Colonel Taylor 4-grain before, and granted, whatever, people will go crazy for it. It comes in a tube, but I guarantee you the glass is not this heavy. And this for me and what this is and the value it brings, I believe this is head and heels way better than it.
Thank
you. That's huge. That means a lot.
Yeah.
But we are reaching up to the top of the hour here. Does everybody have their favorite? Does everybody have their number one?
It's hard. I mean, can we pull some leverage to just get both of them?
I wish, yeah.
We buttered them up enough to.
Yeah.
What else can we talk about, y'all? We like.
Yeah, let's.
You started with the A.H. Taylor comment right there.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was about to say, if anybody can bring some more ideas to help sweeten the deal, we'll take it. If you can look in your crystal ball, you've got winning Powerball numbers for Friday or Saturday. Just go ahead and put them in the comments, and we'll see if that gets us anywhere.
I would say this: if you all are in Kentucky, there's no telling how big you would be. I mean, this distillate's so good. I don't know. If you were in Kentucky, I mean, I'm sure Nevada. Being in Nevada, people red flag it just because it's not Kentucky, but they shouldn't. But gosh, it's so good. Y'all should be very proud.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Thank you. I think
so
that's kind of what I love, though, is like that people taste our stuff and they put it up against these Kentucky distilleries that have been doing it for generations, and that's like the best compliment.
Yeah, my neatest compliment I ever had. One of our whiskeys got the top 10 in the Whiskey Advocate Fall Buying Guide, and their advertisements or social media said our top 10 whiskeys hail from Kentucky, Tennessee, Nevada, Scotland, and Ireland. And I thought, how cool is it to have Nevada next to all these other countries and states that have had hundreds of years to get their shit together,
Well, you all seem to do it in a very short amount of time and make a huge impact, I think, at least on us, and hopefully, our single barrel club and all of our members, because, I mean, we love it. We fell in love with it the first time that we got to be able to try it. And this is just, again, icing on the cake to be able to even bring that to them, because I'm sure a lot of them haven't had the opportunity to even try it. And when we have to be like, no, you've got to buy this. Like we're going to stand behind this. This is not going to just be some other kind of crap that you're going to, you know, drain, pour, toilet bowl clean with. But again, we really love the product.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So can we have both barrels now? No, I'm just
Is that enough to
I'm
get
just
us over the edge?
Figure out who else will have to take it away from.
Yeah, well, we'll have Shem talk to Mike. We'll have Mike pull some straight. We'll
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Actually, I'll trade a barrel for one day's run. So do that.
Yeah. 1 for 11. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds fair. We'll see you in 4 or 5 years.
So we'll take one single barrel now and then one day's run. So 11 barrels in the future. So
see,
Well,
and Robert's doing our advertising
Robert's
for
got
us
a
here.
good one. Yeah.
I'll say I just picked up the Plump Jack single barrel from you guys just last week. I haven't opened up yet, but the San Francisco, like our Facebook, the Bourbon Scotch Whiskey Society. I mean, there are guys that are, you know, lining up 8, 10 of your single barrel selections and tasting them. So I mean, you guys are huge out here on the West Coast already. So it's,
Thank you.
it's
And
just
that was
just a
one of
matter of
my
time.
favorite barrels. For the
That
record,
Plum Jack
yeah.
one was a good one. Yeah.
The Plump Jack,
Oh,
yeah.
don't
Yeah.
say that out. Not on our.
Well,
air.
that
You
was
can't say
last
that's their
round.
favorite.
That was last round.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
your new favorite.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that
Well, we
that
haven't
was
picked
fun.
one yet, though, so we don't know.
I have a favorite between these two. I will tell you. One of them is standing out for me.
Well, good. Are y'all ready to put it to a vote?
yeah.
Which one are you feeling?
Honestly,
You need to taste them both again.
I'm not voting though.
We're a tiebreaker, so
Okay.
I'll be the tiebreaker. Okay.
Yeah, I want to actually be the tiebreaker because
I'm
I
gonna
feel
be
like
the
me and her are on the
tiebreaker.
same page. I need a small win today. All right, y'all ready?
Mm.
Well, or we gotta wait for Anderson to come back. I don't know if we lost his camera or something, but who knows? We might not need him. All right,
Ooh,
he's
they're
back.
both really
He's back.
good.
He couldn't leave for that long. All right, 522 is your favorite. Raise it up. Oh, that makes me feel so good. For the
Yeah,
once
just me.
Ryan lost. All right, 586.
I was really torn on these. So
All right, great. So
586.
Ryan, 586 it is. Sorry, Ryan, but
hey, you get it.
democracy won this time again.
I told you I couldn't do it. I couldn't pick, and I literally was like, that was the last one I tasted, so I picked it.
Yeah, no, it was
Last
great.
time
Both of them
around-
were fantastic.
Yeah, last time around on 586, I was getting some amazing dark chocolate notes, which is just one of my favorites.
Yeah,
Which is also, this is your new favorite barrel you had to give away, right?
This is
Oh,
my new
man,
favorite.
yeah.
Yeah, this one's good.
Yeah, you say that to all the pretty girls, but I appreciate it. No, this was fantastic. Thank you again, Colby and Ashley, as well as Matt, Jake, and Robert and Anderson for coming on and helping do this selection. I know, at least for us, we've already kind of harped on it a few times. When we got turned on to Frey Ranch, we're like, oh, okay, I think like we need to make sure that people don't know about you that much so we can keep buying barrels from you. Because if this gets out there, it's going to be over. Like you're just going to be completely overrun with people trying to find your product. But very happy for what you all are putting out and all continued success. The whiskey's fantastic. And believe me, we don't say that very often and take it lightly. So definitely very, very happy that we're able to have you on and be able to discuss all this too.
Well, thank you. All. We
Awesome.
really
Yeah,
appreciate
thank you
it.
guys.
Yeah,
This was fun.
it's
I
a
had
lot of fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
yeah. Hats
great.
off to you too. Good job.
For sure. So everybody stick around here. We'll talk a little bit after we go off air. But I also want to let everybody know, if you're interested, where can you get this bottle? How can you be like Matt, Jake, Robert, or Anderson and actually help select a barrel with us? Go and check out bourbonpursuit.com. There is a link at the top that says Barrel Club, and we have a private barrel club. We are on track. I'm sure Shem will make sure I say the right number, but I think we're on track to do about 50 barrels this year for our private barrel club. So there are, if not hundreds to a couple thousand bottles to be able to go around amongst a lot of, actually, there's definitely over thousands of bottles now. If I see 150 times. Yeah. So there's definitely thousands of bottles to go around, and we want to make sure that we are picking awesome whiskey for everybody, and we're picking them from a bunch of different places. So go and check that out. And when you do that, not only you get your hands on awesome whiskey, but you are also helping support the podcast. And if you didn't check it, we had an awesome podcast release this morning talking about single barrel selections with Macaulay Minton of Wilderness Trail, as well as with what's his name? Wadle. Yeah. Well, Jay Wadle of John. Wadle. We'll just say with Wadle of Peerless. And I listened to it again this morning, and there's a lot of good jokes and funny stuff in there. And it was actually kind of
myself laughing a lot.
It was actually kind of funny. We were getting ready to come into this selection tonight, and we was talking about the do's and don'ts of barrel picks, and they're like, yeah, just don't go and eat a bunch of Indian food and ruin your palate. like I had spicy Thai food for dinner tonight. So I was just like, I didn't even heed the own advice that I listened to in that podcast earlier.
Yep.
But hey, we're here now. But again, thank you for everybody
that have dip in. They said don't do dip. They had people show in and put dip in and do single. And I'm like, oh, that's disgusting.
Couldn't do it. But again, thank you everybody that tuned in. We appreciate it. I don't know when the next barrel selection is that we'll be doing it here live. I know that we have a few different things coming up. We've got some releases stacked up. We've got Old Elk as well as Yellowstone that'll be released relatively soon. We've got Old Forester Barrel Proof that'll be coming in about, I think, 3 to 4 weeks. Let's see. We also have an Elijah Craig Barrel Proof that's now on the calendar, and 1792 Full Proof that we'll be doing. So yeah, we got a bunch of other stuff that we're going to be in town for, and hopefully one day we'll be able to take a nice little flight out to Frey Ranch and do another barrel pick there in person. But
heck yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. With that, cheers everybody. Oh, and Shem says bullet is close. So Shem is our barrel wizardry master. And thank you Shem for everything that you do for us. You're awesome. But with that, cheers everybody. And we'll talk to you all relatively soon.
Cheers.
Good night, guys.
Cheers.